Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another video in a Ford F-150. This is a Harley Davidson coming from California. Edgar Cruz, this is your computer. I have it in the bench, connected and ready to go, as I normally do. Before I jump into the video, I want to apologize for the last couple of videos. I don't know for what reason. The videos came with no audio. Sometimes this computer, all of a sudden, it changes in the software, the selected microphone, and I missed that part. So I'm going to try to see if I can come up with like an audio for those videos to make it work. One was like 20 minutes and the other one is 10 minutes. I already took them down, but they're really valuable information. So I'm going to see if I can make that work somehow. Remember what I was saying in there. It will take a lot longer, but I will try to make it work for you guys. I'm actually monitoring right now that the microphone is indeed working. All right, let's go back to this video. All right, so like I said, I have the computer connected to my instrument cluster. The reason I have the instrument cluster is so you can have a visual of the RPMs, and I will have the full probe, which is also, the simulator that I use for these signals. But before we go there, I'm going to show you the note that Edgar sent me. Right, you have it in the screen, very small information. It's from California, Bakersfield, California. It says 2003, actually coming from the bin, it shows us 2002. So if we read the bin number right here, I'm going to zoom in. So the 10 digit is going to tell us the year model. So 3 in the T, 6 on 0. Let me see, 3, 6, 9, and then 10 is the number 2. So number 2 is 2002. If it would be a number 3, then it's a 2003. It is, I decode the VIN. It came out as a Harley Davidson F-150, and this is a computer EK01, which is very common on that year, because usually the 2003 is an EK02. Both computers could work at the same connections, but the EK01 is definitely for a 2002. All right, so the issues I'm having is as with this PCM ECU, is as not wanting to start the vehicle. Apparently, it is not sending full voltage to the ignition and low spark voltage, and also not sending proper fuel amounts to injectors. That's it. So very concise, very small information, but yeah, it is very common on this one. So let me get the full probe in the screen, if I find it, which should be here. Yep. I'm going to, well, actually, I can make that a little bigger since we don't have anything else in here. I don't want to cover the screen for the RPM, which is kind of like probably like that. I can take that reflection out of your vision because sometimes it is a little hard to cover everything up. Let me move the camera actually this way a little more. I can make that full probe a little bigger. I also want to show you or to tell you that I did connect or make the connections a little different. I have not performed a parameter reset, which will include connect this computer to my cluster in order to run the injectors. I don't need to do that test because mostly when this one fails, there's no coil firing. So what I have done, because on that software that I just put in there, the full probe, it's only 2 spark plugs, and that makes very hard for you guys to see when the computer is firing or not. So I can change the way that I did my connections. I can now connect the injectors and coils as I please anywhere. So what I did is I connect, because it's 8 coils, right? So 8 injectors, 8 coils. What I did is I connect in those 4 injectors right next to the circle on the center, which is the RPM needle. You have on the right side 4 injectors, and then the last 2 are two coils. So all are connected to coils. So you will see something spraying in there. Again, this is just a representation on a software or what is happening in the computer, but I can use it so it's more visual. All right, so I have the computer connected and everything, but you can see the cluster is completely off. I can actually now make this a little smaller so we can see a little more, kind of like right there. I think that's good enough. All right, so you can see here on the bottom, as I'm moving my hand right here, this hand, I have the breakouts box where I provide the powers and grounds for the computer and for the cluster. So I have the signal ready to go on the full probe. I'm going to show you that I'm using the correct signal, which is 51. For those that follow my channel, you know that this is the correct signal that I use for this. So everything is ready to go, and I'm providing 400 RPMs. So that is what is needed for this computer to run, but the computer is off. I can do that here, right? This is a completely controlled environment, right? So I'm going to turn the battery on, because now it's like you disconnect the battery. So battery and then ignition in 1, 2, nothing happened. So you can see the cluster did a sweep, and this sweep only happens when the battery gets disconnected and you plug it back in. Otherwise, it doesn't do it. And this is very unique to the clusters on 4s. But we can see that we have absolutely no reaction from the computer. So we do have nothing in there. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to keep it plugged in and on to see if it comes alive. And otherwise, what I'm going to do is connect the scanner to make sure that we can read. I think the computer is up because we can read the mileage on the cluster. That tells me the computer is sharing on the SCP communication bus the information to be read, even though this is the mileage on this cluster, not on his car, right? I'm going to connect quickly, just a snap-on. And I can add that on the screen as well, so give me 1 second. Actually, let me make that live because I don't want you, in case it runs, you guys can see that in there. I'm going to be doing something in the background, just a team viewer on, so I can connect to the snap-on quickly. Nothing yet so far. That computer is like nobody's home. Trying to connect to the scanner, so give me 1 second. All right, it looks like it did. I can now go back to this view and then put the SUS in the screen, which I'm going to have to relocate. See if it's on or not. It looks like it is. Yeah, I can keep it right there. It's not in the view, in the way of anything. So now we have the full probe and everything is powered up. So I'm just going to wait for the scanner to connect to the BCI, which it should have been done already, but sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it looks, it's already there. Like, this should be automatic ID. And since it's giving me that automatic ID thing in there, I think it's going to read it, and it definitely did. So let me just compare it to the notes in here. And it said there should be KD17984. And yeah, that is the actual PIN number in there. So yeah, the computer, like I said, is talking. You can see the scanner is reading the information. I didn't enter anything, so I read the information. So it is a 2002 Ford F-150 Harley Davidson edition, which that will also inquire that is a supercharged engine. So, but yeah, we have absolutely no reaction on this one. Then this is definitely calling like analog to digital converter problem. So I'm going to open the computer right now. I'm going to pause the video and then coming back with hopefully the computer working. And I honestly have 100% success rate on this computer, so I don't doubt that I can do that. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I finished the repairs, and I think everything is good to go now. So right, let me move the camera because it looks like it moved. No, it's not the camera. I think it's the angle of the, the angle of the instrument cluster was giving you a lot of glare in there. As I mentioned before, I have the full probe with the signals ready to go, and I'm going to do the same thing. As you see, everything is off, so battery on. and 1, 2, and we can see instantly, you know, all those 6 signals. Disregard the injectors and coils because only I have connected is a coil. But now we can see RPM in the instrument cluster, and now we can see the reaction happening instantly. Right, I'm going to turn it back off one more time. Just a ignition. So ignition in 1, 2, and it fires and runs instantly. Yep. Like I said, it was the analog to digital converter, which is the most expensive part, but it looks like it's being the latest repair on these components. This is the analog to digital converter. I not only replace that one, I do a lot more work than that. But yeah, that is the main component. And this is actually happening. I think it's either a spark plug misfires, an alternator, or age. Either one of those in conjunction or by itself can damage that, because this component is programmable and it has a calibration in there that will work with 8 coils and 8 injectors and send that signal as a digital signal back to the microprocessor. That's the way that works. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Edgar, thank you so much for trusting my Salazar Diagnostics. I will be contacting you shortly to send this computer back your way, and you can enjoy your vehicle back again. All right, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.